They see, but there's something that blocks their vision. And once they come out of the body, that block does not exist anymore. So they are able to see. Once they were pushed back into the body, from that moment on, the limitation returned. But I have one question. If they never saw colors, doesn't matter, even if you took them out of the body, how did they know to tell blue, yellow, white? What do we learn from here? That once the soul came out of the body, the soul recognized color because of the previous life, because it was in another body. Once it's inside the body, it's limited completely because the body sets the rules. Once you get him out of the body, no more limitation. He can hear, he can see. It's interesting. People, there was a person, a chemist, that became blind from an explosion in his laboratory and had a clinical death a year after. When he came back to life, he described everything in colors. So she writes, how is it possible that those people knew colors? Dr. Raymond Moody says like this, I saw collapse of adults that usually are stable in their spirit, in their psychology. They started to cry and shake up as they were describing me the moments that they were dead. They started to cry with lots of feelings. It says the chance that those people were pretending, it's impossible. Because it's impossible that hundreds or thousands of people were all going to come and put up a show with such crying and describe what happened to them as they were dead. But not only that, those people come from different cultures, different languages, different ages, male, females, Jews, non-Jews, all kinds of people from all over the world. Is it possible that it's such a conspiracy? 30 million people all over the world gather together and set up a plan to make up a lie, and it's impossible. If you have one or two people, then you say, yeah, there's two people who made up a plan to fool us. But once you have 30 million and there's no connection, no communication between them from all over the world, and they all come and describe the same story, we have to start realizing what's going on here. Especially that even if it's a scam, even if they wanted to put a scam, they are able here to do things that nobody can do. For instance, if I want to trick everyone and pretend that I was dead and I came back to life, and I'm right here in the room, can I tell you what's going on the roof of the building? Even if I want, I can't. Can I tell you what happened in the entire hospital in the last 5 minutes? Impossible. There's no way to explain it. Let's move on. Conclusion, Dr. Ross, I know with no doubt that life continues after the physical death. Those who are willing to hear should listen. And those who are blocked their ears, they will be very surprised. No doubt there's life after death. Dr. Ring, the same conclusion. Let's move on. Final conclusion, there is inside the man a spiritual image that separates from this material body and the time of death and continue to exist. Let's see what the Gemara and the Zohar had to tell us more than 2,000 years ago. The Gemara says, Rabbi Yosef, the son of Rabbi Yoshua, became ill, and his spirit left his body. When he came back to life, his father asked him, what did you see in the upper world? He told him, Dad, everything is the opposite of what I thought. Those who are here, important, were the last over there. And those who nobody pays attention to, they were very important over there. So his father told him, no, this is the right way, what you saw over there. Here, it's an illusion. Over there, it's the world of the truth. And what else did you see? He asked him. So the son said, I heard there's an echo, an announcement. How lucky is every Jew that come to this world and he has knowledge in Torah. Ashrav sheba betalmudo biyado. Which means that he's knowledgeable in the book of God. He knows all the information that God gave us in Mount Sinai. This in the Zohar 2,000 years ago. In another place in the Zohar, This is what the Zohar writes. Rabbi crossed Padai, everybody thought he died. And then he came back to life. And he started to tell about the soul, his soul going up to the upper world. And the beginning of his trial. His trial already started. There's a person in Israel, approximately 15 years ago, he got stabbed in his heart. His name is Avi Khajani. He made a video and an audio tape about what happened to him. He was a criminal, and somebody waited for him in the stairs, and when he entered the building, he came behind and from the side and stabbed him with a big knife into his heart 3 times. They took him to the hospital. There was no chance for him to live because the heart was ripped to 3 different pieces. As in Bellinson Hospital, they were trying to save his life, and believe it or not, he was dead for 43 minutes. Complete dead. They covered him already. He's on the way to the refrigerator. And then once they were on taking him already to the refrigerator, he started to move his head. And the nurse over there got very nervous. They called up everyone. And his story was such a famous story that they sent the tape of his story to every hospital of the world to show the doctors that it's not over until it's really over. And then, why did I tell you about this guy? Because this guy is one of the only ones, most of them did not reach his level. He already had a trial. And he said that once he entered a place, he heard a huge echo, that there's a terrible voice, loud voice with echo, that called him Avraham, Avraham, Ham, Ham. He said, all my life, no one once even called me Avraham, because everybody knows the mentality in Israel. If your name is Avraham, everybody calls you over there Avi. Avi. And if not Avi, let's say you go and your teacher want to call you in your real name, they don't really know how to say Avraham. They say Avram. Avram. So there's nobody ever called him Avraham. It's the first time in his life that he heard his name Avraham, but in such a loud voice. And then he started to have questions, and he answered questions and answers until God gave him another chance to come back to life. Believe it or not, once he came back to life, he was trying to become religious for 3 months, and every day was less and less religious. 3 months later, he died again. And the second time he died, he got another chance. This is an unbelievable story. And this time, he left everything and he went to yeshiva. And today he's a famous Rav already, but his story in his chest. He has the scars from what happened to him. And this is a person like right here. Right here, the Rabbi Krospadai started to describe his trial. That means they got already to the top station. There are few stops that the soul moves through until it gets to the actual trial. Let's continue to see interesting things here. And this is what the Torah tells us. When a soul exits this material world, it goes into the cave where Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov and the mothers of the Jewish nation is buried, Me'arat HaMachpelah, the cave of the fathers in Hebron. This is the entrance to the upper world. The first 3 days after the death, the soul is flying above the body. Remember, this was written, all the things that I show you is 2,000 years and older. Way before the parapsychologists. Way before what they have in the last 25 years. And the soul is above the body. And thinking that maybe it will return into the body. All 3 days after the death, the soul is flying above the body.